work out, including these two companies. And it was like 45 items where people said, I'm going to hire you to write a business
45.
plan for me, or I'm going to do this. And some were small, some were big, and none of it was ever working out. And that's when I met my mentor, my Sophie. You can't book anything with her. She's a real master, but she'll find you if your earnestness is sincere. If you
But
really want to understand, then that was me. In fact,
can
I
I
asked her
ask
at
you?
one point, yeah,
Can I ask you though, before we go too far into that, 45 things not working out.
yeah, some were minor where people
That's
are
a
going to pay me to write a.
lot.
It was
What?
it was, and that's my thinking. It's like laws of the law of averages. At least some of them you should hit.
Yeah.
But no, I was just completely bushwhacked.
So everyone, if you have had, and I got to ask the question, and I'm gonna unpack this slowly. Everyone here, can you tell me 45 things? Can anyone here write down for me 45 things in the chat that have not worked out for them? I actually challenge you to do that. I'm not sure. Now, maybe someone can. We have a lot of overachievers here, but I want to see 45 things. Write them out. I want to see 1 through 45 because I suspect that a lot of the people here who think, well, a couple things haven't worked, therefore, nothing's going to work, probably don't have 45 like you did. What was going on in your mindset at that point? I mean, how were you feeling as a person going through that?
It was mostly puzzlement. I mean, I felt bad that these things aren't working, and I'm struggling to pay rent and survive. I also got evicted at that time. I broke up with a girlfriend at the time. I had everything. People, well, all the stressful things that happen in people's lives. I had them all at the same time as well. But it was puzzlement because I knew I had the right training. I had the right educational training.
Degrees?
I had the
Yeah.
real training in the venture business. I know what startup companies were like, and I know how difficult it can be, but I knew what to look for. And I had expertise and the desire, willpower, and intelligence to be successful. And it's like, how can this not be working? At least one of these things should work. And then I
Well,
met my,
didn't you have someone die right
yeah,
before?
yeah, some people died. Even when I was putting just to get regular jobs to bring in money, this one guy, he said, "Oh, look, I'm going to put together a group of 8 or 10 of you, and I'm going to teach you how." He was a corporate headhunter. He's, "I'm going to teach you how to write your resume better, how to write
Mm,
cover letter, how to do everything so that you can get into a good job." I said,
nice.
"Okay," and it was $100, which was a stretch for me to get $100, but I said, I'm
Mm,
willing to give it a shot." And I paid my $100. And then the week before we're ready to have our meeting, his wife comes on and says, "This guy, he died. We're giving you your $100 back." It's like, that was one of them. And then I wrote a letter to an investment banker. He died. Then there was a fellow uh, who was helping me with one of the companies that I had that didn't succeed, and he didn't die. But the guy that we were talking to at the equivalent of it was a shop at home network or home shopping. It wasn't home shopping. It was a lesser shopping network on TV, and that guy died. So nothing was working out, and I was either picking the wrong people or they
oh
were
my gosh.
being afflicted with the same negative energy.
I'm actually glad I didn't book you for the show back then because I would probably be dead.
Well,
But I just, I'm slow walking this because I want people to realize, like, have y'all had 45 things didn't work out, and in that, people that were supposed to work with you died? I mean, that's pretty severe. Um, so yeah, so tell us about Sophie, but you know what I want to know, and I'm curious, what this has never been asked before. What was behind that, and where did that come from? If it was a
right.
curse, who cursed you? Did you ever find out?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just
I
want to
found
know.
out.
Okay. Oh, okay. See,
Yeah, I did find out that. Because,
okay.
well, first I had to find Sophie. I didn't know,
Yeah.
what was wrong, why things were a problem. And she kind of found me and directed me to come to her. And I walked into this room with 4 people sitting around the table. She looked up, she saw me, and she just took her finger, like, "Come with me," like she knew she was expecting me. Took me in the back room and told me things about myself that I barely knew. My
Mm,
parents wouldn't know, like almost no one would know. And I'm like, "How do you know these things? How is this?" She says, I can see you have a hunger for this information, for this knowledge. She said, follow me or pay, work with me, and you will remember. And that was the thing that also threw me. She didn't say, I'll teach you. She'll say, you will remember. Like, how can I remember something? I have no idea how she does these
Mm,
things. But anyway, I worked with her very closely, and within a few months, most of my contact with her was telepathic. Just as clearly as we're talking here today, I would I'd feel a tingling in the middle of my forehead, my third eye, and it would be her like calling. I'd sit in a recliner, and then we would have a conversation, and she would answer my questions, and she was working with me all the time as well. Sometimes I could feel her working where half of my head felt like it was in a vice. Then later, the other half of my head would feel like it was in a vice. Other times she'd say, go, after you're done with wherever you're going, after the office today, just relax. Don't plan anything. I have to work on you. And I go home, and next thing you know, I'm out. I'm out for 2 hours while she's working on me. On air trips, if I had business meetings of that, sometimes she just put me out on the airplane while she's working on me. So she was an amazing mentor in that. And at the time there, I couldn't believe how great, how lucky I was to have her help doing this. And then she just disappeared as if she never existed. No phone number, no way to contact her phone, her office gone, as if she never even existed. And and the worst of all is I couldn't even tune into her mentally anymore because she decided that it was time to kick the young bird out of the nest, and he has
right,
to survive on his own, which taught me a very valuable lesson. You can't rely on anyone, no matter how great they are or how
right.
helpful they are. You need to develop your own abilities. And so that's what I did. I started working even more on all spiritual topics: reincarnation, karma, mysticism. Mysticism was the umbrella under which everything I kind of studied fell.
Did you find out, Ed, where, was it a curse that was
Oh, yes.
stopping? Okay, and
Yeah.
who in the world would put a curse on Ed Spina? And I know this was pre, Mystic
Right.
Ed Spina, but who would do such a thing? Don't y'all?
Right.
Let me ask everyone. Do y'all want to know who would have the
Who would do this?
audacity to do this? Um, no, well, let's see. They want to know. Yeah, I want to know. Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Well,
okay, who
it
was
was
it?
nothing I did in this lifetime. This lifetime, I was
Okay.
effectively a nobody. I was a smart kid and high achiever in school and things like that. But I certainly wasn't wealthy. There was no reason to think I would be a target, or there was no reason to curse me. But
Hmm.
later I found out it was a past life vendetta that these people had against me, and they were awake,
Wow.
whereas I didn't know anything about spirituality. And so they found me, and they decided to make my life miserable for whatever happened in that other lifetime, where I
Which
triumphed
people?
over them.
Yeah,
The three
which
people
people?
that cursed me, the people that cursed me.
So they were people living, they were living at the same time as you
Now,
when they did
well,
this.
in this
Okay, it wasn't
lifetime,
in the etheric. These were real people
no,
that
these
had
are
a
real
past life.
physical
Okay.
people that were
Whoa.
gifted. But you can be gifted and help other people, and you can also be gifted and harm other people
Yeah.
or do everything for your own self-interest. Well,
Wow.
they were that category, and they beat me down. And then at one point, they basically came to me to say, "Hey, look, you had a hard time. We can make everything easy for you. Basically just join us, work for us." And I knew I couldn't trust them. And that was right about the time I was first meeting that was shortly after I met my Sophie. And I turned down that offer because I knew that was not the right thing to do. And with Sophie's help and guidance, I became much more stronger than they were in the spiritual world. And she took away the curse. She didn't explain to me this is a curse. She took it away. She made me figure out everything on my own. And then when she got that, where I was able to fly on my own, then she disappeared. And
Yeah.
so I had to go off on my own. Now it hadn't didn't happen for 20 something years after that she did resurface again. And the reason she resurfaced is because I didn't need her anymore. I was self-sufficient, and she's like not quite laughing, but like, no, you needed to learn all these things on your own,
Yeah.
and now
You
that you
needed to
did,
be the
if
master.
you need me, I'm available. But for the most part,
Amazing.
I don't, and I never bother someone to with something if I can do it myself. So, but occasionally I'll run an idea by her and she'll help me.
Amazing. Well, we're glad that you're here and we still have you. And I've got a lot of people here who uh, actually are very interested in your story, which I'm glad we went through because I never remembered who actually cursed
Yeah.
you, which is very interesting. But a lot of people are dealing with some challenges right now. So go ahead, raise your hand, hit react. Before we dive in with that, I want to talk really quickly about this concept of infinity because it's part of what you're focusing on this season, and every one of these focal points that come up are super important because they're almost like gateways to freedom and to another level of yourself. Why do you feel that infinity and like these keys to infinity, why do you feel this started to come in at this time on the planet?
Right. Another way to say it, keys to infinity, becoming an infinite being, also
Mm,
becoming an ascended master, or again, they're not limited to
yeah,
living
yeah.
in a physical body or that they're infinite beings. They can be anywhere at any time. They can manifest, show up in Europe or Asia, wherever they might need to be. They can do that if it's important for them to do it. Saint Germain is famous for that. Uh, Jesus could do that as well. There's stories where a monk, uh, I would think the Pope, there was going to be a new Pope the Pope died, and meanwhile that was back in the Middle Ages or somewhere, and this monk was away, and he he did a out of body experience. He went and he gathered the information and told everyone that the Pope had that there was going to be a new Pope. And then later, it took him weeks to get back to Rome or wherever it was, and everyone said, "Well, we saw you here. You were here. You were helping do all this work." But it was he did it all through an out of body experience. Being able to project his consciousness and actually manifest a body in what
Wow.
seemed to be the physical world. So there are
Mm,
instances where people have been able to do this, and so the objective here is I tapped into an old, a classic mystical text written back in 1912 that talks about the basic principles that if you master these, this is the realm of the masters. So I took the principles, I explained them, and then
wow.
because people are interested in abundance, I said let's apply them specifically for abundance.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's how the whole package came to be.
I mean, this is amazing. And speaking of abundance, I mean, this is a big concept right now. And a lot of people think, the whole thing with abundance is uh we 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 do a weird thing with abundance and money. We put the money and the abundance on a pedestal, and then we put
Right,
ourselves kind of like at the bottom of the pedestal, and we dance around like some sort of circus monkey trying to grab and get a little bit of the money.
right,
And what happens then is it's always something outside of ourselves. And the masters don't do that. The masters understood that once they put themselves on the pedestal, once they put themselves in the higher seat, and they begin to value their truth, value who they are, value their spiritual power, then everything flows to them, including money. So I want everyone to remember that. There's a very, very profound paradigm shift with that. And anything you want to say about that? Because I know abundance is a big deal for people these days, and we're going to dive into some questions. But what do you think about that? And then also how curses and other things could affect money as well.
right.
We got a lot to unpack today.
Yeah, the objective is to have the resources so that you can do whatever you need to do whenever you need to do it. That's like a simple way of putting it. And when you need to do something, one of the key things when you're trying to manifest this is do not visualize a bank account with extra zeros after your $100 that you might have in your bank account. You want 100,000 or 10,000 or whatever the numbers. Don't look at money as which is just numbers. What you want to look at is the thing that you need. You need a new roof for your house. Visualize the new
Mm,
roof on your house.
I like it.
You want to go to Paris to celebrate and see the Eiffel Tower and eat croissants. You don't say, "Oh, I need let's see, I just calculated, I need $2,000 to make this trip." No, don't do that. You say, "I want to see myself," and you visualize yourself in Paris. Now, there's the universe has an infinite number of ways to get you over there to do what you want to do or what you might need to do, and one of them may be having a windfall money show up, but the other one may you win a contest. Your job says, "Hey, we're looking for someone to volunteer to go to Paris for 3 weeks to do this thing. Do we have any volunteers?" that sort of thing. There's a infinite number of ways you might get to achieve your objective. So the important thing is to focus on that objective and don't worry about how exactly you're going to get there. And specifically, don't be looking at how does my bank account increase so that I can do this. That may happen as as an offshoot of you manifesting what it is you want. But that's an important thing. Focus on the thing that you want, not just money per se, which is a nebulous concept.
That makes a lot of sense. And the other piece of this is the thing that you want is going to have much more of an associated feeling, desire. It's going to have a much more powerful vibrational impact on your body than just like $100,000 or imagining a bunch of zeros and digits and everything else. And so as you
Right.
start to feel that energy, you start to change your state. You start to vibrate in resonance with that. You start to feel like anticipation of it. It just carries a much more profound energy signature that affects your field. I think that's amazing advice. And we want to get to some questions and maybe some personal work here. So go ahead, raise your hand, particularly if something around money or you feel like maybe there's something holding you back. Ed is going to pop in. I'm going to go to Margaret. It looks like Margaret Westcamp has just raised her hand. So I want to go to Margaret. Margaret, how can we help you today? What's going on? See if she's there. Margaret? Okay, there she
I
is.
need to find the. Can
There
you
you
hear
You're
are.
me?
You're
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess that's where I needed help. No, seriously, um, I feel like I have a family member who's cursing me on a daily basis,
Hmm.
Okay.
and I,
What's his relationship? Brother, uncle, someone,
um, younger sister.
younger sister? Yeah. It's very rare that someone in your immediate family is cursing you, and she might not necessarily like you, and she may be sending you negative energy, but it's not a formal curse. So let's take you. I will take her as well. Just take everyone to a higher place, to where there is no more entities, nothing bugging people. There are some entities here at some higher level. Let's get rid of those. Yeah, this will be on you, Margaret. Okay, the entity's gone. Let's go look at your sister. Yeah, nothing changed with her. She looks annoyed about most everything. So you're probably just one of the people she's annoyed with. I'll see if I can take that away from her. All this annoyance, I'm filling her with energy. There's underlying as anger. So let's take away her anger. She uses anger to bully people or intimidate them.
Hmm.
Well, she has elements of an evil magician. I don't think she has the skills, but that she likes the anger, the negativity to intimidate people, including you. All right, well, she's stripped of all of that. She's a little worried because her power is gone. So, well, things will be better for you, not only with your sister, but in general, because whatever entity was on you is gone now.
How are you
How do you
feeling,
feel?
Margaret?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, relieved, and I hope that life feels better for her as well. So
right. You
thank you
can
so
hear it. You
much.
can hear it in your voice. Your voice is so much more lively and calm, just in whatever, 2 minutes.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Awesome. All right, Margaret. Wonderful. Yeah, interesting with family members. Why is it that rarely family members actually curse? Is that because they feel like the curse might come back to them as a family curse, or what's the
I don't think
story
it's
on that?
well thought out. It's just well, whoever is choosing to incarnate. If you know your older sister hates you, you're probably not going to want to go into that family. It's not a it's not a good place to incarnate. I think that's probably the main thing. And just from my experience, I don't have a theory behind it. Just that I notice people often they say it's my sister hates me. Or now in-laws, that's a whole different story. That's
Yeah.
a common thing.
Yeah, that's true. That
Yeah,
definitely could be
my
a curse.
brother's sister hates me. I believe she's cursing me, and I check. Yes, you're right. She is cursing you. You're 100% right.
Wow.
So that's common. but the actual family member is not as common, or I haven't really seen it. I've seen parents that are evil that do things to their children. That's, I guess, in a sense, that is a curse. So that's an
Yeah.
exception to the rule. But the siblings amongst themselves, I almost never see it. But the parents, and I had one this week. Parents. I was going back and clearing someone, and in the clearing, we go back to the young version of them, usually like a 4 or 5 year old version. Those kids then they have anger, so I'm stripping all that away. And when I do that, sometimes there was an entity there. She didn't have any entities in her adult version of her, but at the 4 year old version, there's an entity. So I had to take that away. And my first suspicion is, was there any abuse, any sexual or physical abuse? And she, well, yes, there was. Funny you would ask that. Well, it's not funny. It's not a coincidence. It's because there was a demon in there that came in. And in this case, I think it was her father. So we, took that away. And that can affect a person's livelihood, life going forward, even though as an adult you don't see any evidence of it, but it's affecting things even at a deeper level.
Well, I want to go to Rebecca, who has a question. But it sounds like what you're saying is you would take somebody and then go back through their timeline, their age, chronological age timeline, to see if there was ever an entity, even in their past, that may not be there now. Is that what you're saying?
Right. But if
Wow.
as because we're at the higher level, everything's
Yeah.
happening simultaneously, it is there now.
Yeah. Okay. I've never heard you talk about that. Did everyone
Right.
get that? I just want to unpack that. But I am going to get to Rebecca Allen, who has a question, and I'm going to read her question. We're going to mute her. But Edwin is saying, if you had something at an earlier age that's even now gone, because everything is happening simultaneously, he's now discovering that something like that could be affecting you at this point in time. What would you call that, Ed? Is there a term for that? It's like a synchronistic, I don't even know how you'd call that. It's just like one of those mind
Well, I
benders.
don't know. I haven't tried to name it. I just
Wow.
observe it. And the same thing happens if someone they were raped when they were 13 years old by
Yeah.
whoever, teacher or something. And if I know about these things, if people tell me I had this extreme trauma, then I'll go back. I won't go back to the 4 or 5. I'll check the 4 or 5 year old, but then I'll say, okay, let's find Sarah
Mm,
13, or just to pick a name. And then I'll look and I'll find, okay, Sarah 13 is over the trauma. There's no entities there, or something else bad may have happened when she was 17. And then but if I know there's trauma, then I know to look for any entities that could be associated with it. It's not that common. That's probably why we haven't talked about it before, but it happened this week, so it's
yeah.
more fresh in my mind.
Yeah, I would call it a quantum trauma, like because it almost like fits within the laws of quantum physics where, you have non-locality and everything is kind of connected, everything is one. So this trauma, even though it's not necessarily happening right now, is in the quantum realm happening right now, even though it was maybe 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago, maybe even another lifetime ago.
Right.
Fascinating stuff, guys. This is amazing. I mean, we're going to go to Rebecca. She's got a question. She says, I've been told that I am cursed, as every time I am supposed to receive something, a dark cloud shows up and hides my light, so it skips me. So I'm going to go to Rebecca, and Rebecca, if you want to share any other insights or examples of that, and then we've got Ed here to hear and help you, and tell us what's going on, Rebecca. See if we can hear her. Rebecca, can you hear us? Now this better not be this dark cloud, okay? I don't. She's unmuted. We want to hear you, Rebecca. Hmm.
Well, I'm working on her anyway.
Yeah, he's working
So,
on her.
she did have a very high level entity, seventh density, which you'd think, oh, seventh density should be all peace and love and nothing bad happens. But no, there are fewer entities and negative beings at these higher levels, but they still exist. They're just much more rare. But she had the misfortune of finding one of them. So let's just see if this entity, because it's so high, I don't think it's directly connected to a curse, but it doesn't matter. You had the entity, which a
Wow.
curse would have tried to bring in to harm you or to make your life miserable. So we've got it, and we'll just get rid of it.
Yeah, I
I'm going
just
to go
wrote
even
her. I
higher.
said, "Can you talk? You're unmuted," but she's not able to. Yeah.
Doesn't
Sorry,
matter. She's
Rebecca.
gonna,
We're
well,
getting
right
clear
back.
though. Yeah. Okay.
You get the
I just
benefit
want.
of it anyway, even if you couldn't
Yeah.
talk.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Kay, do you have your hand raised? I'd like to get to Kay if possible. Or Kay, would you like to raise your hand? Let's see if Kay has got her hand raised. Yeah. Hey, Kay. I wanted to see if you could share your question and then see if Edwin can give you some help. What's going on today?
Oh, hi. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Um, I've been looking for full-time employment, and I did have employment, but it was horrible. It was a lot of undermining going on.
Mm,
So right now I'm just doing like a temp project, but it doesn't pay good. But I've been looking for full-time employment, and I'm qualified, and I haven't been able to get it. And I'm just wondering, is there a block? Is there a curse? What's going on?
Okay, we're going to raise your. I could feel a lot of anger and frustration associated with this, which is normal. So we try to just get rid of that, so you can think more clearly, and 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 position yourself better. But let's raise your vibration and see if there's anything hidden. So I'm counting up to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 100, 1, 2, 3, 7, 1,000, 1, 2, 3, 7, 10,000, 100,000. Yeah, before we get to a million entities. So this would be a fifth density entity, which again, this is not the land of milk and honey and everything's peaceful and peaches and cream. You still have some of these entities that are around. So we just get rid of that. Yeah, that's the one. There's nothing higher. Okay, with that out of the way, but this is an example where you had that frustration, anger, because where you think things should work out, it didn't work out, and you're qualified and all the reasons you should have gotten the job, and you didn't. So these entities, they'll see that and they'll make your anger even worse. And the sat and a high enough level entity will also look. They say, "Oh, she's talking to this guy, the human resources the director at this company. Let's go make his life miserable or her life miserable, so that she doesn't want to hire Kay." So yeah, that's the reason why you need to get rid of these entities.
So
But
so
you're
entities are different than a curse. Entities are different than a curse.
right. Anyone, if you're cursed, you're going to have entities. But
Oh,
if you have entities, you're not necessarily cursed. You could just be walking down the street and some random entity just sees you and says, "Oh, she's a little bit too happy. Let's go make her life miserable." And they'll go make your life miserable. Or, you can be listening. You can even be listening to a YouTube channel, the TV, which I tell people, don't listen to TV. If you want your life to improve, turn the TV off, because they're imbuing you with this narrative, which in most cases isn't even true, and it's always based on scarcity, fear, and negativity to try to get an emotional reaction from you. So if you subject yourself to this negativity, then you become a good target, especially if you're a good person, for these entities to show up. So there's fewer and fewer of these entities now in the world than there were a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, when people came to me, 90% would have entities on them, and 50% of them would be cursed. So now the percentages are way less, much less. But again, the people that come to me, they're identifying themselves and they know they have this problem, and I can typically fix it. So they come to me. So the
they've
people that come
probably
to me,
also,
yeah,
yeah, tried everything else. They've done all the low-hanging fruit. I've done the meditations, I've done the mantras, I've done this, I've done a clearing with this person. It's like it's still not working. So then they go,
right.
self-selected, you get like the toughest
Self-selection, that
cases.
was the word I was looking
Yeah,
for.
you're like you're not Matlock. You're more like Columbo. I don't know. You're one of those guys that would get you get the argue. You like the Rockford Files. I don't know. You're one of those great shows. I don't know.
well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, things will be better for you now, Kay. So good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Kay, do you have any idea where you got that from or what was going on? Did something change all of a sudden when some maybe event happened or some situation? Did you have a surgery? Did you have a time when you felt really low or down and maybe just
No, you know what? I think I'm an
vulnerable?
empath.
Right.
I'm an empath, and sometimes I take on like say people project their jealousy onto me, or they're like say someone else can have guilt. Say someone else could not want me to have money,
Right.
but they project it onto me as if because I want money, I'm a bad person. And then as an empath, I'm feeling guilt, but I didn't even do anything wrong. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And yeah, I think it could be something because of the empath and like protecting my energy, protecting myself from other people.
Yeah. You want to try to become kind of disinterested, not that you don't care about other people, but well, detached is a better word. If it's
Yes.
a family member, then okay, you want to help. If it was your child, you'd of course want to do everything you could to help your child. But if it's someone that you saw at the hairdresser, your job is not to make their life easier unless it's something just in passing. You could just send them love, something like that. Or you're at the supermarket, you don't have to see people that are distressed and help them. They have their own journey to figure out what to do. And especially if you're not trained to heal and get rid of entities and things like that, you don't want to put yourself at risk trying to help someone else. It's like someone who doesn't know how to swim trying to save a drowning person. It may not work out. Send them love and hope that everything works out.
Yeah, I think it could have been done unconsciously,
Right.
just say you said, "Oh, I want a new car." Right? I want a beautiful new car, and then it could be just say your cousin says something negative about it.
Right.
But and
Yeah.
and and it's really their guilt for being projecting negativity onto you, but you start feeling guilt, but you didn't even do anything but dream
Yeah.
a dream, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, always keep your
Yeah.
dreams to yourself. I gotta be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't throw your pearls to swine. Don't put a gold ring in a swine's nose. It's old ancient text. But yeah, never share your plans with anyone. Ever.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't.
Thank you so much. Mhm.
People are gonna be like, why, Darius? I'm like, because that's when you get
Envy. Yeah.
adversaries that don't want you to succeed. Now, only after you get to a certain point and you've
Mhm.
developed, kind of like the vibration of that thing, you've already been doing it, you developed kind of the spiritual muscle, then maybe people see what you're doing but then you've insulated it. It's kind of like, you plant a little seed. And if you tell everyone, hey, I planted this seed here, you should take a look at it. Is what it's going to do. It's going to become a big tree, and everyone's picking around at the seed, it's destroyed. It gets adulterated. It doesn't thrive. Let it become a big tree that nobody can do anything to, and then they can just marvel at it. But yeah, don't tell anyone anything. I never
Yep.
tell my family
Mhm.
anything. I love
Right.
them. They go, "How's
Right.
business?" It's great. "Oh, what are you doing?" Same thing. Whether I'm gonna do
Right.
to this, I just don't share anything. I don't share nothing. Um, so
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, thank you. I'll see how things goes. Hopefully things change for me. Thank you.
yeah. All right, I love it. I'm going to go to another caller here. We got Sarah F. And Sarah, will you unmute? I'm trying to find you here.
Hey Darius, hey Edwin.
Hello.
Hey, great to be here. Um, Edwin, I was part of a shamanic group for about 10 years, and then 2 years ago I found out that the two leaders were using dark magic, and I think
Right.
they were also using it on students to kind of manipulate them. And I have
Yeah.
done some clearing around it, but I still wonder if there's anything from those two teachers or any of the teachers that are kind of hanging around or that they're
Okay.
still sending out.
I feel sadness connected to that, but let me just take you to a higher place to make sure there's nothing on you directly.
Thank you.
1,000,000,000. Yeah, I don't find it on you directly. I can try to find other people without you having to say their names. Let's find out who those show. Yeah, they're full of demons and negative energy. I don't think they're projecting them onto you at the moment because it would have been obvious to me when I looked at you. But let's just strip them of their demons, which normally people would bless me and be thankful that we took away their demons. But if you're misusing them, they don't like that one bit. Yeah, they're yelling at me like, who are you? That sort of attitude. Only they're not saying it as nicely as that. Well, you misused your spiritual power, so it has to be removed. Now they're kind of perplexed, like what happened? How did that happen? So I'm not going to mention you or anything. They're not in any position to harm you.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you,
So,
Darius.
thank you. So, Ed, real quick, why would I mean, they're doing that to obviously just kind of control, or they were doing that to have more control over the students, basically grow whatever they were doing.
right? Or make sure the students stayed part of the
Stayed.
group.
Hmm.
That if you leave, you're basically telling you bad things will happen. So if
Hmm.
Sarah was leaving, then they might come after her. That's one thing. And then that it's you can have power using negativity, and that may impress some people.
Hmm.
As money is one area where people, especially if these evil ones are seem to be well to do, they have money. They may have conned it out of people or whatever, however they got it, and people see that and say, "Wow, I want to be like that person with this money." Well, how did they get there? What are they doing to maintain that money? It may not be good.
Right.
I always go back to Lakshmi, goddess of abundance. Her teaching is you should be doing things that bring you joy and spiritual fulfillment. And if you're helping other people, then you're going to be rewarded financially. So if you're doing that, then the money that comes to you is blessed in a sense. And the more you help people, the more you'll get. The opposite, I mean, some people at one point, I bring in Lakshmi a lot during the individual clearings, just because everyone likes abundance. So I bring them in, and then this one guy a few weeks ago, I said, I brought in Lakshmi. I said, "You hate your job." He goes, "How do you know that?" I said, "Because when I brought Lakshmi's energy in, there's so much dissonance. You're not doing anything that brings you, joy and fulfillment. You're doing something that just for the money." He goes, "Well, I'm a pharmaceutical rep." And I'm thinking,
Mm.
well, that pretty much is about the worst job I could think of having. Maybe politician would be even worse, but he's doing it just for the money. And then he admitted, yeah, it's the money's too good for me to give it up. So I keep doing it. But that's the opposite. So that's the kind of money that may disappear as soon as he stops, or unless he changes his way and funnels that money into doing things that are good for people.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's got to be in alignment with universal law and human expansion. So anything you're trying to do, I mean, you've seen this, right? People that cheat, swindle, it always in some way self-destructs. Or here's the other side of it. Again, I'm going to go back to this. The family self-destructs.
Right.
So you may have like, I mean, you look at some of these families like the Vanderbilts and all that, they had a lot of money, but then you have all these horrific tragedies down the generational line. Cornelius Vanderbilt didn't have any challenges, but that particular family, I mean, they pretty much lost almost everything. So, it eventually that karmic debt is paid. So you don't want to be doing any of that stuff. Let me go to Eileen, and Eileen, how can we help you today? Let me pin you. If you want to restate your question and some of why you raised your hand, we'd love to hear from you.
Hey, Ed, I worked with you twice in the last 9 years. I
Mm,
started remembering occult abuse when I was in 2002. So I've been in deep therapy since then. And I think my husband's lineage has the occult in it also.
mm,
So in the 9 years, I've learned how to clear so much on my own. And you didn't really say there were really entities, which is kind of odd to me because of what I went through. But
Mm-hmm.
I still find myself unemployed right now, still very poor health. Yesterday I was clearing, and I'm still clearing the actual ritual abuse, torture. Like I'm still, and I've cleared attached spirits, and I mean, it's like I feel that I'm mirroring what you've gone through. Like last week, not knowing you were going to say your list of 45, I
Right.
had a list of 30, and they didn't include anything. They were just when I thought I was making a correct decision, and it blew up. So
Right.
definitely something around mind control and blocking my intuition and not knowing, even though I've been knowing for 23 years. So I'm pretty tired. I always feel like I've done 17 tours of Vietnam and don't get to
Right.
have a break, is kind of what
Okay.
I've been through.
All right. Well, right. This is an example. Well, it could be an exact example. Right now, there's nothing that I see on you as an adult. But let's go back to you, Eileen. I'll call her Eileen 2002. There we are. This is it. There's entities in there from that time in 2002 that don't show up to you as an adult today. So let's just get rid of them.
mm,
So this is helpful to know especially exactly when, whether you were, however, 37 years old or whatever the number was, versus here, this is the year. It doesn't matter. We can get rid of it. They're belligerent. Yeah, they're screaming. Now they're more crying. Okay, they're off you. Let's go back to Eileen, 2002. Still gun shy. Like, is this really over? Wondered, worried. I'm going to take Eileen 2002 to a higher level. Okay, and let's merge Eileen 2002, Eileen today, adult Eileen, and your higher self. Let's remind all of you, you're part of the same being, complete, whole, fully integrated, no distinction between any part of you. Yeah, there's still a little bit of that gun shy. Is this too good to be true? Is this really over? Well, it's 100,000 times better already. You still there, Eileen? Can you describe how you feel?
I feel it in my occiput and my my low back. That's how it all started, was my low back went out.
That may be why where they were attacking you, right?
Yeah, what I'm feeling, or it's so funny because some phone calls coming in trying to block this whole thing, which is interesting. But when you said gun shy, I feel it like all in my throat that I don't trust the work, that there has been so much work that it's just going to be another thing. And I have been clearing, conception backwards and forwards. So it's interesting that you hit that moment. But when I think about it, I innocently went to my parents to talk about the abuse, not knowing the tsunami was going to hit for the next 23 years. I had no idea what I was going to come into, right? So maybe that innocence or that naiveness of 2002 was what you were clearing there. I just don't know if you can look at my ex-husband and children, because they don't speak to me, and it all started when my son joined the military, and that does fit with the occult is connected to all that. And it breaks my heart that I don't see my family, that it all happened, that they shut me, they shunned me. I have grandchildren I don't know about. I mean, I haven't seen them. I heard about them from a relative, but that's ridiculous for how much I was a good mother. I was a good wife.
Right. But this thing that happened in 2002, was that related to your family, or is just you did something on your own?
I went forward to my father and mother, immediately got shunned from my birth family, but then my husband started acting really weird. And when I look at him energetically, he's got stuff on him that's all related, as does my son and my daughter. So then in 2010, when my son went into the military, is when all the real intense persecution of me from them started.
Okay, took everyone back to that 2002, and I could feel some of that anger. So I'm clearing that out. And we're going to go to your son in 2010.
It was like 2009 when he signed the contract, and immediately started shunning me, and we had been really close. So it was shocking what happened. And then it's only from there,
Right. Okay, let me talk to your son. Your mother wants to reconnect with you, and for whatever reason, you shut her off. He's nervous.
He worked with the Taliban. So I know, he was not working with them. He listened to them as his job. So to me, just something came in intensely to this family and broke us up. It's really sad that what's happened.
Is he still overseas now, or is he back in the States?
No, he retired. He retired 9 years ago, or not retired, got out, and that's when he shut all ties completely with me. And that's when my husband left me, and it's just
right. Okay, well,
so sorry.
I'll just put in a good word to reconnect. Look, your mother wants to talk to you. I just took away the negativity that you were afraid of. Same with your ex-husband. Your ex-wife would like to talk to you. All right, see what happens now. Things are different.
Yeah, there's just one more little thing. My 90-year-old mother, I believe, was abused because two of the people were the abusers to me, but has been just disconnected from it. And she's still alive. And I don't know, it'd be awesome if something could heal there for all the lineage.
All right, I'll ask my team. But it seemed like it was an event that happened in 2002. That's what precipitated all this.
Well,
So,
I told.
so you think it happened earlier?
And
I don't find, well,
the abuse, I mean, I told in 2002, but the abuse has been going on. My mom's 90, so I think she was abused the
I'm talking
same way
about
I
you.
was.
Were you abused before 2002?
Yeah, it started at birth. I'm 60.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I told about it in 2002, but it started
Right.
in 1965.
Okay. All right. Well, we caught all the abuse up to that 2002. The demon was there. So we got rid of it. So like if I go back now to say you 4-year-old Eileen, 4-year-old Eileen, everything's good for her now. She's telling me it's gone. It's gone. Whatever was bugging me was gone. The demon's gone. The demon was there all the way up to 2002 when you became aware of it, and I just got rid of it. So, and now it's no longer in you. It's not in you now. So things should be better. It could be they were afraid to come to you because they saw the demon in you or they knew of it. So they just trying to preserve themselves. So maybe things will change now.
All right. I so appreciate your help. I've worked with you twice and I really appreciate it.
Right. Okay.
Thank you, Eileen.
Thanks, Darius. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just say whenever we get someone that needs help, we take it and as far as we can. So we're gonna do that for y'all when you come on. That's just the way we're gonna do our show and help humanity. So what I want to do, thank you, Eileen, and for everyone else here, I want to maybe dive in to a process. And I see we've got Martin who also has his hand raised and video on. Maybe Martin, if you can stay with us. Maybe we'll do something at the very end, kind of like a wild card. Oh, and I almost forgot, Ed, I forgot what we talked about doing on Wednesday. You remember the little
Oh,
surprise?
yeah.
Oh,
Right.
man. So lame. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so here's a surprise, everyone. I should have mentioned this. We are going to give away a package today for free. Package A of this program. Yes, we are. And what I want y'all to do at a certain point, I'll tell you to just type in package A in the chat. And then I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to be scrolling and I'm just going to point. I'm going to choose somebody. So then what we're going to do is Cheryl is on and then she is going to, don't do it now, not yet, guys. She is going to get the package to you. She's going to ask you for your email address. So it's going to be exciting, but not yet, everyone. But everyone, we're going to give away a package A today. So Ed, what I want to do, and then we're going to take Martin as well as a call, and then we're going to talk about the packages as well. So I don't want y'all to give up. The package is reasonably affordable, and it's worth every penny in multiples. So just know that you can grab it. Everyone's typing package A, but we're not yet, not yet. Okay. But you never know. I mean, maybe if you do type package A a lot and your name is in there a bunch and I'm just going to point, maybe I will find you more likely than not. It's like buying more lottery tickets. So I guess it's free. You can keep doing it. Lisa's laughing. Yeah, I don't know. I never know how these things are going to go. So let's do a process. We're going to get a lot. I don't think we're going to get a lot of testimonials. They're all going to say package A. But tell us about what we're going to do today. I don't even remember what we talked about doing. Something about a 5D experience, and then let's
5D
do
abundant world. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tuning into a 5D abundant world. So I'm just going to raise everyone's vibration. And then we're going to use the skills that Darius was talking about, that I'm talking about, that you're not looking at an abundant world doesn't mean, oh, I see a bank account with $1 million in it. No, that's not the abundant world. The abundant world is where you have exactly what you want. The thing, your heart's desire, that you're doing what you love to do, those sort of things. So we're going to tune into that. I'm going to give you some guidance to do that. So to do that, just relax, take a few deep breaths at your own natural rhythm. And I'm going to raise everyone's vibration, everyone listening now and on the replay as well. I'm going to count up exponentially. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000. 100,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 million. Okay, there's a bunch of fifth density entities bugging many of the people, or several of the people on the call. I shouldn't say many. So we're clearing everyone out. These are things that are interfere with manifesting the things you want. So let's keep going. 100,000, 1 million, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million, 100 million. Okay, everyone should be clear now. Okay, so everything's always easier whenever you're at a higher level of consciousness. Now everyone's at a good level of consciousness, so I'm going to start by just reminding you there's two principles you want to keep in mind when we manifest an abundant new world. One is that the universe is filled with abundance. And two, there's no benefit to looking backwards at problems you might have had or lack of abundance that you may have suffered from in the past. If you start thinking about those old problems you used to have, you're going to keep that in your belief system, and everything that you see in the future, you're going to match it up to what happened in the past, and you're going to get sucked back into that lack of abundance. So you don't want that. You want a fresh start, focus in the present to make a better future. And also keep in mind that you can be spiritual and be abundant. Many of you in other lifetimes probably had lifetimes as a nun, a priest, or a monk, where they indoctrinated you that you shouldn't have money if you're spiritual. Well, that's, of course, a foolish thing to say. If you have money and you're spiritual, you have the opportunity to use that money to enhance your spiritual power and affect more people in a positive way. And the ones that have the greatest spiritual power often are the ones that often help the other people the most. And you're going to be among the greatest manifestors on the planet. Okay, so abundance, what does it mean? Not just financial abundance, but it means emotional and spiritual fulfillment. If you're doing things that bring you joy and fulfillment and you're helping other people, then you're going to be rewarded. And the true source of wealth is spiritual fulfillment, ultimately self-realization, enlightenment. So that's what eventually we all want to be pointing towards, to be that infinite being, to be that ascended master. So let's bring in, I'm going to ask Lakshmi to come in. She gets annoyed with me if I don't ask her for her help. So let's ask Lakshmi. Please come in and fill everyone with your energy. And one of her key teachings is that it doesn't matter what circumstance you were born in. She's often portrayed as being on a lily pad, which can grow in any kind of water, dirty water, it doesn't matter. So good things can happen no matter where you started from. Okay, so now let's just visualize a world where everyone has what they need when they need it. Everyone has food and shelter. Everyone has the means to follow their own heart's desires. Okay, and if you want to inject your own desires in this meditation right now, here's an opportunity. I'll give you a few seconds to figure out what it is that you're looking for. A fulfilling job, a trip to Hong Kong, maybe Machu Picchu, a new car, whatever it is that you need and desire. Try to see it manifesting right in front of your eyes. Now, don't just see it, try to fully sensualize it. So not just see it, but hear it. If you're in Hong Kong, maybe you hear the traffic blaring, but it's all the frenetic energy that is what you were looking for. Or if it's a peaceful vacation in the woods, you're hearing the birds chirping, or the sea breaking on the shore because you got to go to Big Sur in California, wherever it was you want to go. If you can, try to smell what that would be like. Are there fresh flowers? Is it the croissants baking in the shop when you're made to your desired trip to Paris? So try to smell it. If you can taste it, even better. That's hardest to do. But you taste the croissant, the fresh croissant, right where they were originally invented. You're enjoying it. And now, most important, feel exactly what it's like to be in this abundant world where you have everything you need whenever you need it. People around you are all content. And if you can, pour your emotion into this experience, the gratitude. This is exactly what I wanted to. I can't wait to experience this world. All right, take a few minutes to totally embrace this feeling with every one of your inner senses. Okay, this is exactly what you want. Hold on to that vision. I'm going to bring us back into our bodies. Again, you're in this world, but not of it. You're this higher infinite being, or at least you're on your way to infinity. You have much higher aspects of you that are even more powerful manifestors than your physical body would be. You've created that vision. Now it's just a matter of time while it manifests. And so it is. Yeah, I feel a lot of love pouring out of people. That's the gratitude of, yes, this is the world I want. This is the higher world I want. I said 5D. In many cases, people are even higher than that. We took everyone much higher than that. The higher you go, the closer to your I am presence you are, the greater your manifesting power. Yeah, no, this is really good because I get to feel all the love pouring out of people. We've just formed our own little egregore. This is what I do on the group calls, where with everyone's cooperation, they're projecting their energy into this our group, and it's building on each other and helping other people go to higher levels as well.
Amazing.
Or if people can feel that this is what an egregore is, a group consciousness. We just created it right here.
All right, everyone, let us know what you're feeling. All I see people are feeling is package A. That's all I see. Package A, package A, package A. I think we're gonna have to do the package A drawing now, or else people are
Right.
just gonna be thinking
Okay,
package A.
stop.
Yeah, then we can stop and we get back to work, guys. Come on, we gotta get to work now. We gotta get and have some fun. So yeah, can we gift to Sergio? All
Yeah,
right,
you
here's
can
what we're
gift it
gonna.
if you want, for
Yeah,
sure.
you could gift it. All right, no, we're not doing package A yet, guys. Oh god, we're getting a few comments. People said they really loved the thing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right,
Uplifting, inspiration. All right, let's just do package A now, and I'm gonna close
right.
my eyes. I assume Cheryl is on. Diane, whoever I choose, I want you to connect with Cheryl, and then we're gonna make sure. So I'm closing my eyes, guys. Now, what I'm gonna do? Got my eyes closed here. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let it run. I'm just gonna close my eyes and point. So okay, 1, 2, and 3. All right, I got it. 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 Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, everyone. There it is. I highlighted it. Sarah F. She just wrote A. I'm gonna screenshot it. And I highlighted it too. Sarah F. You just won package A. I got a screenshot right here. Keep the evidence. You know I'm a lawyer, right? So there we go. Sarah F. We got your screenshot right
Oh,
there.
there
So
she
you
is.
got package A. Well, I don't know why I can't. There we go. Sarah F. Yep. Recording a little video of it. There we go. Sarah F. So what I'm going to do, Diane, if you can reach out to, let me see, Sarah, I'm going to send you a private message. And Diane, if you could reach out to Sarah F. And Cheryl, if you're on already, if you could reach out to Sarah F., that would be great. Let me see if I can. Sarah, can you unmute yourself? I think we just chatted. You were the one that was dealing with the potential situation with those folks.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
That's lovely. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Okay, so Diane, will you message Sarah and make sure that we have her email, and then Cheryl can get her the package A access. So I think we should be good to go. Okay, great. So it looks like we're good. Thank you, Sarah. So I'm excited. This is going to be great. Clearing and a free package today. What fun.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You hit the jackpot.
Hit the jackpot. What was your abundant vision? What were you imagining and feeling during the activation today? No, she's
Sarah, did we lose her
I
again? Oh,
my vision was to find and to be able to afford my own home. That I felt that
nice.
really strongly to be in my
Beautiful.
home. So thank you so much.
And what did it feel like? What were you feeling in your body, in your essence, as you were thinking about that?
I felt very expanded, but also very expansive, but also grounded. It was like an opening and a deepening, and kind of taking my place and kind of, yeah, feeling the love and feeling like I belong. That was the feeling.
Very nice. So
Beautiful.
what I would do with that is I would make that part of your daily meditation for maybe 10 minutes a day if you can. Well, of course you can. Everyone has 10 minutes. And then just go back to that space and feel it. And then during that meditation, you're going to get signals, you're going to get signs, you're going to get inputs from the universe that it's going to give you some guidance, right? Or maybe an idea, maybe something kind of crazy to go take a drive down the street you've never driven on. And you're going to say, "No, that's nuts. Why would I do that?" You'll be surprised at what you might uncover. And you may find that you run into situations where there's opportunities available that you wouldn't have known about, or you shortcut to that outcome, right? Because that's how the universe works. But you're also going to be developing trust, and you're going to start to download a new software, which is different than where you are at right now. Like we are not going to receive the things that we want staying where we're at right now, because if we had the software to get those things, we'd already have them. How the universe downloads new software is through trust and through following intuition. Just like Ed rented a video at Blockbuster, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Wait a minute, I'm going into these past lives." If he would have said, right, Ed, if you said, "This is malarkey. Let me just go back to working on my resume," you never would have
Right.
downloaded the new codes. So Sarah, that's what's going to happen is you hold that, you're going to get these ideas, insights, intuitions. You're going to be downloading new codes. Follow it, where it is safe. Don't do something crazy. Use your judgment. Um, but you're going to start to activate more of that, and that's how you shortcut the process. So, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, I love it. We're getting a lot of comments coming in. Yeah, a lot of people writing in. Someone wanted a home for a lake. I fell in love with my vision. Yes, you must be in love with your vision. If you
Right.
are not in love with your vision, change your vision. You must be in love with the vision. Let us know what was your vision, guys. Let's see. We got a lot of questions. Okay, we've got, I love my vision was being embraced by my love. Okay. So it sounds like a romantic vision. I love that. Yeah. Oh, awesome. A lot of congratulations to Sarah. So I want to talk a little bit about the packages and what Sarah got. And a lot of y'all might be saying, "Oh gosh, I don't get it." But honestly, everybody can have it. Everybody can make it work. You don't have to just get it through winning it. You can also say, "I'm going to give. I'm going to receive. I'm going to make this possible." So we've got the last interview up. We're going to be switching that out. But package A, what Sarah got, is all about tapping into the hermetic keys and manifesting abundance with the ancient hermetic techniques. And she's also going to be using this as well. So, Ed, really quick, anything you want to say about this? This is the first time ever that you've gone into this. These are, for many, forbidden ancient teachings. They're the keys to infinity, and everything we want is possible in infinity. And so you're going to be doing 2 live group calls and unpack some of what's here, Ed.
Right. Well, the principles are the same principles that they wrote about in the Kybalion back in 1912, but that was based on an earlier work going all the way back to Atlantis with Thoth the Atlantean wrote the Emerald Tablets. So these principles have been around not just for a few decades, centuries, these are millennia. This is going back 10,000 years, and they're still true today. So that's
Yeah.
why they're still valuable to follow them. So the 7 MP3s have to deal with the principles. There's also a transmuting dark into light MP3, which is the closest thing to having a session with me as well. And I have a couple of masters that help me on that one as well. And if you get the package B, you're also going to get 30 days of remote clearing in January, every day at approximately 7 a.m. Pacific time would be around 10 Eastern. And for those in Europe, it'll be in the afternoon. For those in Australia, you'll be asleep. But anyway, you'll be getting cleared once a day. So even if you do have some setbacks or that, know that within 24 hours, all that negativity is going to be removed from you and your family. Everyone in your home is also going to be covered. So that's that. We also have 2 group calls in January where you'll be able to call in and ask questions, and we'll form our own egregore again, just like we did here on the show with Darius. So, and you'll be able to stay on the line after I won't hang up. I'll stop the recording, but you can stay online. This is what I do all the time now, last several years, and people get to bask in this amazing energy that they've helped to create. And I'll look in the morning. Yeah.
I think that's going to be real powerful as well. I just want to share the page is at uwealthrevolution.com/Edwin30, Edwin30. But about the new year is that you're going to want to create that new egregore for what you want for 2026, because it's going to be a new year. So you're not going to want to stay in that same vibration of this year to move forward. We're going to want to do that with you. So Ed's going to be doing that. Plus, yeah, you're going to be getting a lot of very cool things to tap into these keys to infinity. And then you've got the whole mastery set of these keys of infinity. And the difference is you're not just sharing what these are, you're helping people to be unblocked so they can embrace this stuff. So it's almost like a fast track, a shortcut, downloading the software to tap into infinity, right? This is really key, because if we could tap into infinity or had the tools to totally receive it now, well, I could just tell y'all, hey, understand what mentalism is, and you would be like, okay, great, and then now you'd start manifesting. But we've all heard a lot. It's getting rid of the blocks and the things that keep us from that. It's really important, isn't it, Ed?
Yeah, eliminate all the obstacles, and then not just think about it, not just have an intellectual understanding of what it is, but to actually feel it, sensualize it, just like we did on the meditation. The house, she saw her house feeling upbeat, but also grounded. So that's the thing. Everyone had their own individual vision of what they wanted, and hopefully they sensualized it by incorporating their other inner senses. But that's what you need to do. You need to embrace that whole experience to fully master it. That's what mysticism's about. It's an experiential discipline. It's not just theory or intellectual aspects. Intellect is good to get you to the right place, and then you want to experience it.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to do.
Wow. So you're going to experience each one of these correspondence. You're going to experience the energy of what is vibration, or the principle of vibration. You're going to be experiencing and mastering the principle of polarity as much as possible. You're going to be getting and understanding the energy of rhythm and all of these things that create worlds, they create outcomes, they make you the master of your reality and future, cause and effect.
Right.
Like
That's the
there
most
is
important for that.
nothing more powerful than honestly cause and effect and understanding that. Gender and everything else, which isn't just male female. It's the principle of yin yang, up down, and the different things that actually coincide with that. And not everything stays the same. Everything has an ebb and flow. So masters understand that. So plus they get the transmuting dark into light. So all of that is 127. Now I gotta share. A lot of people have been going forward with your 25-minute sessions. I know these are getting pretty booked up. Anything you want to say about this, and maybe kind of why somebody might want to do this now as we move into the holidays versus waiting until 2026 or afterwards?
Right. Well, the sooner you get rid of any obstacles, especially any entities or curses, you've got all this weeks, months before you thought about doing it, where you can experience a much better life. There's no time like the present to get something done. And that's never wait until tomorrow to do something you can do today. So that's another mystic truism.
All right. Well, Margaret May says, I am taking the leap and buying package B, even though I just quit my job. And while that's
Right.
scary to quit a job, let's make sure you're clear to move forward and you apply these principles for your new path, right? I know what that's like. And I remember leaving my job at Deloitte and Touche, and this was a funny story. I told my boss at the time, Scott, I said, you know what? I want to go off and do my own thing. I want to be, a teacher, and I want to help people. I want all this, and I was one of the top consultants. I was the only one that got the big bonus the first year and everything. I was like slated to become a partner. They loved me because I
Right.
just worked. I worked like a machine, and I was good at what I did. And he literally pulled me into his office and he sat for about 30 minutes trying to tell me why it wouldn't work out and why it would fail. And, I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, I was your best consultant, I'm like, what are you gonna tell me
Yeah.
I'm gonna fail? But, it was the fact that he had his own issues. And I remember he told me his brother had a business, and he always felt like no matter how successful he got, his brother, because he was an entrepreneur, like just had that thing of he made it without any company structure, around him,
Mm.
like supporting him. But yeah, my boss just continually told me why it wouldn't work, and all this and all this. And I remember looking at my hand. I looked down at my hand, and my hand just like started turning into a fist, and I just remember like squeezing my hand. And
Started going toward his head.
no, no, I wasn't going to smack him at all. I just felt the love and the connection to my higher purpose in that moment. And I
Right.
realized it was a blessing because I was like, Scott was testing me, testing my metal to really feel, could I lean into my higher truth? Could I lean into my true power? And like and I could just squeeze my hand now and I feel that. And you feel this part of you that knows you are much bigger than your surroundings. You're much bigger than the words and all of the things happening around you. And every human being, that is the greatest gift you will ever give to yourself. 100%. Because the world will change, people will come, people will go, economies will change, businesses will rise, businesses will fall. But if you feel that and know that, and you connect to yourself, then you are absolutely connecting to everything that is. And that's what's important. Someone has taken over the screen. Who knows why? Uh, anyway, so what we're gonna do, I have no idea what's going on. No, we do not allow that. We're trying to keep the content clean. We don't know where people are going to go. So we're going to talk about this. Even if you're going through a challenge, maybe grab a session. And Ed, um, we've talked a lot about what you do on these sessions. Anything else you want to add? Maybe you're going to be working on some of these uh, quantum traumas that are in other age ranges that we've experienced in our life, but maybe gone now, or what we might call quantum entities. I don't know.
Right.
Tell us about what might be coming up there.
Well, it's kind of funny. On our Tuesday Q&A session, we cleared someone on, and they had their session yesterday, and they told me how everything is totally different after her ex-husband who had died, and his presence kept going into her home, into their home.
Yes.
And I cleared that out. And she says there's no more problems with that anymore. But then she built upon that, and there was a whole bunch of other things that we cleared out. So yeah, each session there's a base session that we do that does that. But if there's anything in particular that you're working on, I ask you about that up front, so I can tailor the session to make sure we incorporate that into whatever clearing you need as well. And if you do have a trauma, especially, I had another one this week, the one I mentioned earlier, physical abuse, sexual abuse. If you had anything like that, let me know, so I know specifically to go and find that you on that timeline, whatever age you were. If you were a baby, I'll get it anyway. But if you were raped in your teenage, preteen, something, let me know about any of those kind of things.
Mm,
Uh, Hopefully, there's not very many people that have that kind
yeah.
of torment,
Yeah.
but if it does, definitely let me know. But yeah, and
Absolutely.
then we'll do everything else. We're going to go back into your childhood and clear out any anger. We're going to go look at other lifetimes and get rid of the trauma, anguish, sadness, We're going to eliminate anything that's blocking you from accessing your own higher self, and clear out all your glands and organs. I try to make it as comprehensive as possible. And if there's something that I'm overlooking, and I find out about it, then I will add this to the standard procedure as well. But pretty much this covers everything that you're going to need to have covered.
I love that. Well, yeah, this is great. And the other thing people are going to be getting for 30 days, they're going to be getting energy support into January with package B. So, I mean, it's a way to start the year off, well, I guess with the right vibe and energy and support so that you can make sure that you stay in greater peace and well-being all during the new year, and then you can move those plans forward with more ease, grace, and possibility. And people love that. So all of that is being included. Plus, there's a Facebook group, and it's just $247, discounted 85% off. So Ed, just amazing stuff. Everyone, check it out. It's truly legendary. And anything else you want to say about that? And then I want to go to Martin, who's been patiently waiting. He's got maybe a question. We can do kind of a wild card, some help with Martin here today, and anything else you want to share?
Nope, you got the MP3s you can listen to whenever you like. You're going to have a session with me with package B that will do everything that we did with the people on the call today, only to be more in depth. We have 25 minutes, which is a lot of time in my world. And then the 2 group calls in January, and then the 30 days is among the most valuable parts of the whole package, getting cleared every single day. It's the best support I can give to you.
Yeah, so the 30 days you do clearing every single day on everybody in the group. So they get the personal session with you plus 30 days remote energy clearing for the new year, which is pretty huge because everybody wants to start the new year feeling pretty good and see what you have in your mind actually begin to take hold. And what's really cool, you're going to have the 2 calls happening in January as well for package A. So then whatever they begin to hold in their field and want to manifest, now they have this really beautiful path to make that happen. Great. So what I want to do real quick, Martin, thank you for waiting, my friend. Looks like I think you're unmuted. What's going on? How can we help you today?
I was just looking at the some of the clearings and all the things package A and B do. Now I do the daily cleaning, and I've been paying for that for like 3 years now. Does that
Nice.
take care of a lot of that? Because I also had a session with you when I started that.
Right. If you get package B here, you'll be covered for January. So any subscription you might have had will be suspended so that you don't get billed twice.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but it'll continue on. Everything, hopefully lots of good things that have been happening over these months and years will continue to happen.
Oh.
And plus you'll get the 2 group calls in January, and you'll get an extra session that you may or
I'm
may be
blessed.
helpful.
Thank you very much. And it all started with with the clearings you do daily in your group.
Right.
So
Perfect.
I don't know which Martin this is. Thank you, Martin. I know we got another Martin here.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, no,
That's
that's
all right.
okay, Martin. We had 2.
Nope.
Hey, Martin, I was like, why is Martin, you're there, right? Why don't you talk? Yeah,
There's a
you.
different
Yes,
Martin.
you.
Okay.
Yes, I'm there too.
Okay.
I had a Hi, I had a session with Ed before, and I really highly recommend it to everybody.
Thank you. Yes.
Ed, you helped me a lot. My issue is always with money, and I made some really good money over the last months.
Nice.
Thank you for your help. But in the meantime, I got a lot unexpected invoices, and my business stopped totally.
Right. Yeah,
So
I just wanted to
feel
make
like
sure you didn't have any of those vows of poverty from another lifetime, because if you did, I don't know if you had them or not, I don't remember, but they're gone now. If you had them, I would have taken them away. But that's a common thing where people had that vow. Some people, they just don't make any money at all, and they live like a monk in their home without any money coming in. The other group is people that money comes in, but then they find ways to spend the money or donate it or give it away, or car expenses or some unexpected expenses. So I just wanted to verify with you. I checked with you to make sure you didn't have that, but you don't have that. So
okay.
hopefully more money just keeps on coming in and the expenses don't increase as the money flows in.
Somehow I feel there's a new block. Something's blocking me. I don't know.
So you said your business just like really fell off?
No, his business is taken off, but he's got a lot of expenses. Yeah.
I work in real estate and no customer called me for 3 weeks.
Yeah, he
Okay.
said it fell off. Yeah, it was going
Oh, it
really
did.
well,
Yeah.
and then something. Okay.
Yeah, and then it goes down now again.
Yeah. There's no obstacle there. That kind of points to the principle of rhythm. Things go coming, everything happens in cycles, and you're in a cycle
Okay.
where things are not happening as well. What you want to do is try to keep your vibration high so that you're in some ways above the ebb and flow and the cycle of boom and bust and that, and so it's less intense for you. You're like in a,
Okay.
rising above it, and
Okay.
hopefully money just keeps, prospects and sales and everything just keep coming into you.
Okay. But there's no block or something like
Yeah,
that.
no curses, no entities, nothing like that.
Okay.
Even your emotions
Okay.
seem pretty straightforward.
Can you
Okay.
infuse him? Sometimes I know you've infused with kind of like higher energy or love energy,
Yeah.
so that
Well, he
it
just,
becomes more of an attractor to that.
yeah. Well, everyone, they just were in the place where they're manifest. I mean, I don't know what your vision was, Martin, but I'm sure it was had something to do with your business flourishing, sales, people signing contracts left and right, where you're getting commissions and everything's going great for you. But yeah, so let's just amplify that. Whatever the vision was that you were holding, Martin, let's just amplify it for everyone on the call. In fact, I'll ask my spiritual team, whatever they were envisioning, let's augment it. Let's just boost it with even more energy. Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Ed. Thanks a lot, Darius.
Absolutely, my friends.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. All right. Sounds like the energy's, gonna stay high. Just keep going and don't be moved
Okay.
by outward circumstances or events.
Okay.
Keep your
Okay.
energy high, keep moving forward.
Okay.
Absolutely. Bless you, Martin. Yeah, this is an interesting thing. We can start to really think like, okay, is this a curse? Is this a bad thing? And then it becomes like a self-fulfilling kind of prophecy where we
Right.
propagate it. But it's good also sometimes to just know, hey, there is nothing going on, right?
Right.
There is not a issue happening. Everything is clear. You just need to keep focusing, keep your energy high, keep making those contacts, keep going out,
Right.
doing those things that make what you do work and make it magical. Stay doing that because you can also like create these straw men where you think, oh, it's this, and then you give all your energy to this thing, and there you go. There's an interesting story Napoleon Hill said about a gentleman. His name was James Sweet, and he was a salesman back in the 30s, and he was doing extremely well, selling everybody left and right. And all of a sudden, it was life insurance. And all of a sudden, his wife called him an old man. And he was about 80 years old. And she said, I don't know who would want to buy from an old man. And all of a sudden, like those words got into his head. And Napoleon Hill said, in his book, like this guy just totally went from being able to sell anyone this life insurance to just complete collapse.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to go see Napoleon Hill, and Napoleon Hill said, I got the idea, I got the solution. So Napoleon Hill said, every time somebody says no to you, he goes, I want you to go out, I want you to go buy one of those old ear megaphones, because I guess back then they didn't have hearing aids, so they just had like this old megaphone you put in your ear. And he says, I want you to pretend you don't hear him, and I want you to just put up the megaphone to your ear and say, what? And then just keep on talking and keep selling them, and don't. And so every time somebody said no, he just put that thing to his ear and he just act like he didn't hear him. He'd keep talking, keep selling, and his numbers went right back up and he exceeded his previous best. So sometimes a belief can get in and you're the cause of that. So you gotta just keep going forward and act like nothing's happening and move forward, especially if you know now that you're clear. And that's what's good about your work, Ed, is you can tell people, no,
Right.
you're good. Go forward. Act like the market is booming and just keep going and sell everybody, left and right. That's what you got to do sometimes. So I love it, man. I love it. Well, Ed, any final thoughts or any messages? I feel like this was kind of an abundance focused call, and we
Right,
got into some principles that are very fun for people to master. I mean, this is
right.
cool.
There are principles that go back, and in the case with the package goes back thousands of years, but the ones you're talking about go back to the 1930s, Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
In some ways, there's nothing new under the sun. Go back to the ancient mystic principles. These are universal truths that are always true, and that's what we're doing with this package. And take the wisdom, and then embrace the feeling that comes with the package to make it your own success.
Absolutely, man. I love it. Well, the thing that we cannot ever underestimate is you and the work you do and the energy clearing and the help you give people. So it's really great to have the personal touch and also lifting people's vibration to receive some of this information as well as you do. So check it all out. It's an amazing session. It's at youwealthrevolution.com/Edwin30. And we love y'all. You truly matter. You can do anything. And we have to stay on the bright side of life, on the possibility side of life, on the infinity side of life. For every one of you, I recommend get clear on what you want, spend 10 minutes a day focusing in on it, focusing on that vision, download the codes, download the possibilities, download the insights, download the paths. And if you want help from Edwin to make sure that you're not, in any way blocked from that, get a session and then follow that and go through the program and get on the calls in January. Get on the 30 days of remote energy support. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to struggle. And I've done it multiple times, even though I made a fist, even though I said I am going to move forward. Along the way, there's going to be bumps. There's going to be bruises. There's going to be times you need support. And Ed has been that support person and that support structure for so many of us. Check it all out. Ed, thanks again, man. This was great.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, everyone. Much love. I'm going to leave you off with Diane and Cheryl, and it looks like we took care of Sarah. And be on the lookout. You never know when we're going to give away another package. So watch your emails or watch the calls. We may just surprise you. We love you. We honor you. Thanks for being here, everyone. Sending you off in big love. We'll see you soon. Much love, and thanks for being in my life. You can do anything. Go create it. Much love.